everyone, my name is Grace. In this assignment, I will to explain the virtual machine and virtualization, how virtual machine works and how business could use virtualization to solve real-world problems. The first virtualization is a technology that allows one's physical computer to run multiple virtual computers called virtual machine or VMs. Virtual machine works like a physical computer. It can have its own operating system, application, memory storage, and network connection as it of having its own physical hardware. It share the resource of physical computer called the host. The virtual machine is called its guest and the software that where that manager the virtual machine is called hypervisation. They are too many to hypervisation. A tip hypervisation runs directly on the physical hardware and its company use the data centers and business environment. The tip to hypervisation one of the existing operating system and often used for the testing, learning and development. Now I will explain the main component of a virtual machine. The first component is the virtual CPU. The virtual machine uses processing resources from the physical physical processor trapped to the hypervisation. For example, I can assign two virtual CPUs to a virtual machine. The second component is the virtual memory or RAMs. The virtual machine receives the specific amount of memory from the physical host. For example, 4 GB of the RAM to a virtual machine. The third component virtual machine is the storage. Storage is the virtual machine needs storage for its operating system application and data virtual machine. The virtual machine disk is usually storage of the physical of the host. The fourth component is the virtual network adapter. It allows permit a virtual machine communication with another computer server and networks. The fifth component is the guest operating system. The system is installed inside the virtual machine. For example, a company could install Windows Server or Linux inside a virtual machine. Now I will like to explain with business virtualization. Our major first is server consolidation. Without virtualization, a company might server physical server for different applications. With virtualization, multiple of the server run on the physical host. For example, a company could have one virtual machine run Windows Active Directory, another virtual machine running a web application, and a third virtual machine used for testing. This can reduce the amount of physical hardware needed to improve the use of a computer's resource. Another important benefit is testing and development. In IT, professional can create a virtual machine to test software system configuration without affecting the project environment. If something goes wrong, the virtual machine can be deleted, the restores without demanding the main system. Virtual is also useful for education and training students and IT professionals create a virtual machine to practice Windows Server, network links, and cybersecurity in the Insolve environment. Another benefit is disaster recovery. Virtual machine backup and can be backed and resolved without can help organizational recall system after a failure. Virtualization can also improve a solution. For example, a computer can keep environments separate for two projects environment. This can uh, again, this can reduce the problem is on environment affecting another. And how virtualization also has its challenges. The physical is it is the physical host is very important because multi-virtual machine may depend on it of the host files and there is no backup or redundancy. Server virtual machine could be affected. Virtualization also required good resource manager. It's too many virtual machine use the same host. They may not enough CPU, RAM storage, and network resource. The security is also important. The hypervisation and virtual machine needs to be property configuration, update, and protect. One example that connect virtual machine to that I learned in the courses is Windows Server and Active Directory. Installing Windows Server on dedicated physical computers, an organizational could install its virtual machine. The virtual machine could be a domain control and provide an Active Directory service. This allows the organizational to machine use group computers and security police while benefiting from the flexibility of virtual machine. In my future career, I could use virtual machine for the Windows Server environment deployment, database, application network, and cyber security. Virtual machine is important because it helps me organizational use their hardware resource efficiency, use I can say in-scar physical equipment, create flexible testing environment, and improve system management. This topic also taught me important lesson about problem solving. Is not enough how to configure a technology. Is also need understand why a particular solution say, is appropriate for specific solution. I continue my education. I want to develop my knowledge of a virtual machine network, Windows Server, code, computer, and cyber security. These skills will help me understand modern IT environment and solve real-world problems. In concluding, in virtual machine is a computer's create route solver. Its main components include a virtual CPU, a virtual RAM, a virtual hypervisor, a virtual storage, and network adapter, and a guest operating system. The hypervisor manager these virtual resource and connect them and the physical host. Business can use virtual for server consolidation, testing, development, training, test, recording, and isolation and efficacious resource management. Understand virtual machine important to me because it connects many areas of IT that I have been learning, include networking system and administration and cybersecurity. It's very important because it helped me understand how I can create a virtual machine, how I can configuration a server. It's very important because it helped me many understand many things why I don't know. And the CPU, the RAM, the storage, it's very helped me. So thank you so much for watching my video in that.